Can't be waiting
all the
on that.
time. It's like meow, 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 meow. And we are live.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
What
we
up,
here.
gangsters?
What's good? Yeah, welcome back to another Shit Talk Saturday.
Oh man,
Yeah, the
it's a
unapologetic truth. It's been a
yeah,
week.
it's a Saturday. I can tell you that
It,
much.
it is
It's a
Saturday.
Saturday.
How's your Saturday going?
I think I'm sick of just being out here. Like it's just I'm over being out here.
Ohio got to you.
Ohio's not it. I'm not saying that I dislike white people, but I'm definitely tired of white people. Uh, you know,
I,
I have no melanated brothers out here, and I think that's probably the issue. Is more that I have no friends out here, and it's just I go to work, and if my days are great when I'm at work all day, because at
right.
least it's filled with something, versus like today where I have the day off, and I'm like, I guess I'll just sit in my jail cell all day and do nothing. But how
Wow.
was y'all Saturday? Y'all looked all
So
dressed up.
we
Y'all
had
going
a
out or something?
day off. Oh no. No, I got dressed up for the podcast. I ain't about to hold you. I took a shower. I said
Mm.
I look
I'm
cute
like,
tonight.
I'm just gonna get dressed up for the internet. I got you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Most people
Basically.
do
I
that. They get
lost in
dressed
the
up just for
church
the internet.
because it's cold in the house. So
But yeah, no, we're getting ready to move. We started moving things into storage today just to kind of free up some space and yeah, that's about it. We've just been doing that and cleaning up.
Mm.
It's been Saturday, so
it's been
Oh,
Saturday.
it's been
man.
relaxing.
Well, good luck with that. I'm pretty much tired of moving.
I'm sure you are.
Yep, I got it. I actually forgot that yesterday I was supposed to check out of my room, and I forgot and went to work. And then when I came back, they're like, "Oh, hey, Mr. McClellan." I was like, "Well, yeah, what's up?" Like, they're like, you were supposed to check out this morning. It's like, nope, completely forgot. I had no idea. He was like, well, I'm going to save you a trip. Your key won't work. And I'm like, well, is my shit in there or is my shit somewhere else? Like, where is it at? He was like, no,
Right.
your stuff is still in the room. I just have to give you another key to go grab it. I was like, nah, just extend me for like 3 more days because I don't feel like moving right now. So like, just extend me for like 3 more days. I'm going back to Houston on Monday for a little bit anyway.
Okay.
See the kids off to school, and
Yeah,
then
recharge your batteries.
come back on Thursday. I need to re-energize my focus on
You
for
were gonna go to a different hotel for 3 days.
no, I'm in the same one.
I
I just
know.
told them to extend me in this one. But
Gotcha.
when I come back, I'm gonna have to go to a whole nother hotel. So, there's
I
that.
gotcha.
But other than that, uh, you know, same old shit.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you ready to jump into this week's
Wild
worth of
week. Wild week. And we can
no, I
start off
love it.
Wow.
with a BG, Brittany Garner, however y'all say her name,
Brittany
getting
Griner.
convicted, right?
Yeah.
9 years for
9 years.
weed oil. Now, I am not going to even start to condemn Russia for their justice system. I have no idea what their justice system is like. I can't say if 9 years is too harsh because I would be basing that off of the American justice system, who says, yeah, like nah, like dude, 9 years for weed oil, like they're like, come on, man. But Russia, like you don't know what the motherfuckers do out there. But I do feel as if they made it so stiff because they wanted to like they wanted to bargain. So they made her punishment stiff. Like, look, she gonna sit here for 9 years if you don't trade her for this drug dealer over here, right? And then
Yeah.
how will that look on an American system if you allow one of your own to sit in our prison for 10 years, 9, 10 years? And all you gotta do is just trade us the orange dealer that you have in custody. We'll give you her back, and then y'all go about your business. I do think they did it like that because if they were just like, yeah, it's gonna be 6 months, like America, be like, all right, cool, she can just sit her ass there for 6 months, she'll be all
Well,
right.
she's been there for 6 months.
But
Right.
I'm saying if her sentence was just 6 months,
Right. Right.
then they'd be like, all right, cool, like you can just sit there for 6 months and come back. But they purposely said no, her sentence is going to be 9 years, and I feel like that's their like max punishment, and they just went with it. I don't know who her lawyer was, but holy fuck, they sucked.
I
Damn.
agree. I agree. They're playing war games.
Yeah, her lawyer knew it was up, dog. Like her lawyer knew she wasn't getting out. There was no way they were gonna be like, "Oh yeah, big American celebrity, you walk free." No,
But
this
she's
isn't
not a
American.
big American celebrity, though.
Yeah, but in their
She's big
eyes, she's a
enough.
celebrity.
I guess.
She's
guess.
celebrity enough.
Yeah, I
mean,
guess
they're
celebrity
Russian.
enough. Celebrity enough, but
Yeah,
they gave her a pretty stiff ass sentence. Reminds me of how they used to lock black men up in the 90s. Motherfucker gets 6 years for an ounce of weed.
How they lock black men up now?
I mean, if you go to jail now, 6 years for an ounce of weed, like, oh my god, the judge needs to be fired. All everybody. I think they'd burn that court system down.
Yeah.
Nah, I get that. But yeah, 9 years is crazy. There's not much more I can say about that other than like I hear what you're saying, but they were like vape pens.
Yeah.
Y'all be like, it sounds like you need some.
Yeah.
But that's the American way of thinking of it. It's like, they're just vape pens, right? But in Russia, they might be like, no, like vape pens are, maybe they lead to like so that's what they use there for drugs to do hard shit.
Yeah, like she definitely broke a law, but 9 years of your life for breaking a law is ridiculous. Like,
but originally I had heard that she had to plead guilty and be sentenced for them to even start negotiations with, getting her back here.
But again, that's the number. 9 years is harsh because that's what Americans think. In some countries, they'll just cut your hand off. Like if you caught stealing, fuck going to jail. They'll just cut your hand off. Do you think that's to me? I'd rather go to jail. Like I need my hand. Like I can't just have one hand.
Well, speaking of celebrities and jail sentences, I don't know if you heard this. I didn't even realize this happened, but apparently Nicki Minaj's dad was killed by a hit and run.
So it was a hit and run in New York, and somebody came back and hit him upside the head and left him there.
You just hit him with the car. It wasn't upside the head. He hit him with his car and drove away.
My bad.
Anyways, he was a 71-year-old white man. He ran. He hid his car in the garage. He was sentenced to 1 year in jail.
For hit and run.
1 year for a hit and run.
So here's what I've learned from the American justice system, right? Plea deals that don't, so to get a plea deal and not go to court, they'll like significantly lower your charge, right? Versus going to court and trying to say, no, I'm innocent, like I'm going to go to court. Because then if you go to court, then the prosecutor's going to definitely go for like the full amount that they can get.
Yeah.
But if you come in, like, yeah, I did it. And then they were like, okay, well, how we want to do this? And then you get a good ass lawyer. They be like, look, we don't go to court. Give his ass a year. He already old as fuck.
They suspended his driver's license for 6 months and gave him 1 year in jail.
Yeah.
Like, that's white privilege.
And then they probably charged him with manslaughter over murder. They charged him with manslaughter or involuntary or vehicular manslaughter. And then they be like, yeah, just give him a year and he'll be home in like 6 months,
That's still bullshit.
It is. Absolute bullshit.
A man's life, like you killed someone. That man didn't get to meet his grandchild.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they're right. I believe that's what's fucked up is that you can go take a plea deal for a drastically lesser time frame versus saying no, like either you did it or you didn't do it. If you did it, right, you don't get to plead your way out of your charge, you know what I'm saying, or your time frame. You go to court and they give you your sentence. That's how they did snitches. Like if I went to court, you know what I'm saying, I could snitch my way out of jail. Like, nah, still put that nigga in jail.
We on fire.
6'9", 20.
He did, though.
He had a lesser sentence. That's true.
I mean, he out.
That's true. But yeah, and then we wouldn't be unapologetically black if we didn't talk about justice for Breonna Taylor this week.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. And they're convicting them with murder, not like no bullshit manslaughter, no bullshit ass.
Well, the first time around, I was gonna say, the first time around it was the bullets in the wall. Like, it was endangering her neighbors, and I'm like, you fucking kidding me? That's what y'all gonna come out of this with?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I guess
very-
new evidence came out that showed that they purposely went like around the house to her side and shot
Yeah.
through the wall to kill her. Some stories talked about the city wanting to buy her house, and then some stories talked about some other shit. But I know I'm just glad that they charged him with murder and not some bullshit ass like manslaughter. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it was bullshit what they did to the boyfriend. Like they killed his girlfriend in front of him, ran in your house, shot at you, and then charged you with shooting at me.
Mm-hmm.
I was asleep, and you murdered my girlfriend
Fact.
while I was asleep, and I couldn't defend myself. Like,
Yeah.
what's the point of owning legally this gun then?
Yeah, but remember when they wrote that amendment, it wasn't for you. So that's how they use it.
Right.
When they wrote that second amendment, they definitely were not talking about you.
No, but they never had that unless they meant slavery.
they
Then
definitely.
they definitely meant me.
They definitely meant great.
Mm-hmm.
Fact.
Did Nikki ever come out and say anything, or did no? Because I know her cousin died a while ago too, huh? Was it her cousin or nephew?
I don't know. I'm not gonna hold you.
I think it was.
But
nephew.
yeah, it had happened last year. So I didn't know it happened at all.
Hey, and they've been dragging her husband, baby daddy, husband, whoever for the
That's
longest.
her husband. She's Mrs. Petty.
Yeah.
They've been dragging him for the longest.
But yeah, I mean, and when you live in a situation like that where, you know, your husband's being dragged and he has to go through all this for a sexual assault, he served, I'm sure, longer than a year.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't involve killing anyone. Like that has to hit pretty hard too.
And now he about to go back to jail, and yet this
white man's walking free.
Yeah,
or will be.
I mean, yeah, they but we know that they definitely give black people harsher sentences than they give white people. That's but that's something that we'll talk about next week, as we know when we talk about this. Racism still exists,
slavery, all that good stuff,
or inequalities and things like that. So yeah, definitely. But speaking of Breonna Taylor and Black Lives Matter, this fucking horse, right? So I'm conflicted because one part of me is like, okay, cool, I understand the representation and the, but I feel like they were just being petty in naming their horse Black Lives Matter and then putting that horse in a race. So that way, every time you announce it, you have to say Black Lives Matter.
It's not just any race. The horse is already on a winning spree, right?
So now everybody who's betting has to bet. All these white motherfuckers
have to bet on Black Lives Matter.
And they're the first black family to actually have a horse in the running, like in the race period.
So
the horse is the winner.
Got a choice. It's either that or Obama. Because if somebody black get in, you only got two options.
But that's so petty to do that. If I'm the announcer, I'm not saying his name. I'm just gonna say horse number 5. I'm not saying Black Lives Matter every time.
Did you say all the other horses' names?
I don't give a shit. All the other horses' names aren't obnoxious to say over and over again.
On you.
Yeah, because you remember who Seabiscuit is. If I said Seabiscuit, you take it back to the movie.
I wouldn't say Seabiscuit over and over again.
But you would call that horse by its name.
I would say horse number 3.
That horse Black Lives Matter. Now,
first off, that's too long to say while speaking at an announcement for a fucking.
Yeah, no, they be talking like they do when
they talk fast as shit. So first off, that's way too long.
Meta World Peace, but they still had to say it when this nigga changed his name from Ron Artest to Meta World Peace.
And notice the drastic decline in saying his name when it came to him playing in games.
That's fact.
There was also a drastic decline of him playing
because what they did was they just shortened. They would just say Meta. They wouldn't say Meta World Peace. They would just say assist from Meta and then move on.
But they had to say the whole thing like a pimp named Slickback.
No, they literally just called him Meta. They never said the whole thing.
But I'm talking about Black Lives Matter. They had to say the whole thing.
I can't just say black in number 2.
Yeah.
Black Lives in second. Like
Black Lives Matter, number 5.
Black Lives. Like imagine how I sound saying Black Lives Matter in last place.
I mean, but I see where they're coming from. Like, is it petty? Yes, but do white people who bet on horses need to fucking be aware of what's happening?
Yeah.
Yes. Like,
because they were white and they said all lives matter, the horse was winning.
But what do you think the outrage would be if they entered a horse that said white lives matter? And they constantly stated white lives matter over and over and over and over.
I hear you. It's equally.
That sounds petty and almost childish.
But culturally, it doesn't sound the same. Culturally, it doesn't hit the same. There is
no movement to
protect.
Yeah, it depends on the culture. You know, if they named a horse "Good Old Boy,"
but what you protecting it from?
Good Old Boy. I'm
saying?
Sure there is a horse called Good Old Boy.
Yeah, now the issue is how that motherfucker, how a big ass 2-ton horse just came up dead. Like I dropped him off healthy, routine checkup, and then come back dead.
They were going to have his sperm collected and to be castrated. Regular things that animals go through. And yeah, he was dead, and they think they actually collected the sperm. So he was a winning horse. They got the DNA and then killed off the horse.
So that way he couldn't keep winning. These black people couldn't keep with a award-winning horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just yeah, that's probably what happened. But then the fact that there's literally no answer to what happened. Like there's no way in hell you don't have an answer. This big ass barn, somebody was dealing with my horse. So where are the people that was dealing with my horse?
Telling you, but I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you. So what I'm going to say is there is no answer.
And they did it better than me because they just like, well, I don't want you to record me, sir. I'm about to beat your ass. So either I can record you or beat you up. So you pick. Because damn the fact that you killed the horse because his name is Black Lives Matter. You know how much horses are?
Yeah, well, and that's probably the reason why they killed it. Because they don't think the
horse is probably like $15,000. Like, nigga, these horses are not cheap.
Yeah, and then they're trained.
I'd have beat your ass just off of that.
And more expensive. The horse was probably winning. It had sponsorships.
Yeah, and then imagine the money that you get from breeding a horse, training. Like, yeah, I'd have beat your ass just off of that. Like, the name is secondary to why I whooped you. Like,
it was my horse. You killed my award.
Yeah, like you killed my horse. It's like if I take my dog to the vet, and then when I come up to the vet, they be like, "Yeah, your dog is dead," and that's all they can say. I'm like, "Well, shit, what happened?" They were like, You know, I walked in and he was dead. Nigga, what was nobody paying attention? Nah, we weren't in here. Who had the dog? Bro, I'm about to slap shit out of one of y'all. Seriously.
But yeah, speaking of slapping the shit out of someone, did you see the fight between Christian Rock and Blueface?
Who?
The most toxic relationship that you've seen since Chris Brown and Rihanna.
Okay, you know who I'm talking
Chris Brown and Rihanna was not a toxic relationship, and the damn sure isn't the most toxic one I've seen.
One that got his face tattooed on her neck.
Yeah.
Okay. And she
got like the removable tooth.
Yes, with his face on it as well. His face is on the tooth.
Oh, Jesus! And so
anyway, they got recorded in public. They got into a fight. She hit him first. She definitely hit him first. He beat her ass back.
Yeah, he had her down on the ground, like mounted, and was swinging like tea and all.
Hey.
Yeah,
it's a fight, cuz
off of the wall a couple times.
They went back and forth, and she got her face bounced off the glass.
Right, but look,
if you swing them hoes, you better be ready. That's all I tell people. If you throw them hoes, you better be ready because they coming back at you.
This relationship is so toxic because he then offered her $100,000 to leave, and she said no.
He started at 50 and then went up to 100.
Yes, to leave the relationship. And then she came out. So he apparently is supposed to be in one of the celebrity boxing matches coming up. And those endorsements were taken away. They kind of canceled him from that.
Oh, yeah.
She then came out and made a video saying that he never hit her, which is like, she saw the video.
Well,
but, right. And then, released a video of her sucking his toes. Like, most toxic relationship ever. Okay.
And then like this week they're gonna probably be hugged up together in the fucking house chilling. It
Yeah.
reminds me of the baby and his baby mama. And like,
Oh yeah.
she has
That's-
her own money, but still stays in his house. It makes no sense to me. Makes none whatsoever.
I feel
But
you.
no,
But yeah.
I didn't see that. But I'm baffled by people like that anyway. Blueface isn't even that good of a rapper.
No,
And
it's
so
terrible.
I don't understand the idiocy from that. But speaking of relationships and celebrities, Pete Davidson and Kim Kardashian broke up.
They did.
Because their schedules were too busy, right?
Mhm.
I to this day don't even know what the fuck Kim Kardashian does. Like Pete Davidson is a comedian. He does skits.
He is.
What the fuck does Kim Kardashian do that makes her schedule so busy?
At this point,
Law school, mother.
I mean, business owner. I'm pretty sure she probably. I don't know.
Reality show.
Yeah, we just
the
making
reality
sure.
show was a major part of your life.
That one wasn't that canceled?
Was
it moved to a different network.
Oh,
So-
another network picked up because I know one network they canceled it because they
Yeah.
didn't. It was boring. They wasn't making.
No,
it.
I don't
it
watch
moved
it.
to like Hulu or something. Like I watch a lot of Breakfast Club, so
I don't watch it. But yeah, I don't know. She's busy. She's at this point. She's just a celebrity to be a celebrity.
Yeah, I don't know.
She's
I think she'll get
booking
back.
busy.
I think
Wow.
she'll get back with Ye. I see it. I see Ye and Kim getting back together. Watch.
That's also toxic.
yeah, it's equally toxic because he needs therapy. Not
I'm gonna say I don't think Ye is the toxic one in that.
you don't think so?
I think he has some serious mental illness issues.
I think Kanye is someone that we won't believe until the shit he says comes true. Right? Like that's what he sounds like to me. He sounds like the crazy uncle that's like babbling the fuck off, and you're like, bro, this nigga sound crazy. And then what he said came true, and then you like, fuck.
So you think slavery was a choice?
No. I see his point of view on when he said that. Now, do I believe him saying it was retarded? Yes. But I understand what he was saying. He was saying there's a lot of us. I don't understand why we didn't overrun the house. It was 120, 200 slaves. It's one slave master, probably 4 people in the house, 4 white people in the house. We could have literally just ran that motherfucker over. Why didn't we think that way?
And Nat Turner got his ass shot. That's why we didn't think it that way.
Who?
Nat Turner,
Okay.
the one who started the slave revolt.
He said, "Okay."
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't that we didn't. It's not that we didn't
It's just
try.
every time it happens.
We got shot.
I mean, but from Kanye's point of view, it was imagine if all of you revolted
Right.
at the same time.
All of us got
Not
shot.
like 3 or 4 revolt, and then like they were like, "Yeah, boss, fuck you, bitch," and then they get shot because it's only 4 of them.
No,
But imagine
that was
if
3 or 4
200 people are like, "Yeah, nah, fuck this. We're gonna storm the." If 200 people said, "Nah, fuck this, we're gonna storm the Capitol," versus the 10 or 20 that did, right? If 200 storm the Capitol, you don't have enough guns to stop all 200 people from coming. Like somebody's making it in. You
So
don't have-
when they stormed the Capitol, how many people do you think it was?
It was definitely over 200.
It was over 200 people.
Yes.
Yes, there were a lot of motherfucking
Right,
white
there
people
were a
out
lot
there.
I thought it was like maybe like 50.
No.
No.
But even still, they made it in. Motherfuckers was roaming the halls.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you.
They were
I
in.
understand his point of view on it, but I just don't think it was the right place. And I think Kanye is also ahead of his time. He said shit that people don't understand quite yet.
At least 2,000 people made it inside the Capitol building.
Doing the riot?
Yes.
Yes.
I think niggas was just walking in at that point. They're just like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
they
fuck it."
absolutely were.
Everybody else is doing it. Fuck it,
Black
let's just
men
go.
looking around like,
Mm-hmm.
we in this bitch.
They're like, oh, so like everybody walking in, let's just go.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, speaking of the Kardashians, Khloe and Tristan just welcomed their baby boy, so congrats to them. That's all I wanted to say about that. We can move on. Uh, because at the end
I
of the day,
feel like this is Chloe's fault.
absolutely. And at the end of the day, like,
It's Chloe's
if
fault.
you
Chloe, you know
want-
exactly, you know who Tristan. This isn't the first time. This isn't the
No.
second time, and you chose to do this shit for the third time.
this is
Like,
planned.
it has to be. There's no way Chloe
Surrogate.
falls with the same thing 3 goddamn times in a row.
It's a surrogate. But
She
at the
keeps
end of the
falling for
day,
the same shit over and over.
the end of the day, if you want to be embarrassed in front of the world, that's on you. Like,
I don't
know
think she's
regular women,
embarrassed.
You
I don't-
have to.
I don't think
I
she is
like-
because it's only embarrassing because we look at it from a like, oh, I wouldn't do that type of point of view. But if they have that like as a deal with them, if they're like, yeah, like Tristan's like, yeah, we already have the deal. Like, I do whatever I want, she do what she want.
But
It's
that
not an
wasn't always the
embarrassment.
deal. That wasn't always the deal. So at one point in time, this nigga cheated on you very publicly, and you were crushed. And if that happens within your group of friends, your friends are looking at you like, sis, get your shit together. When the world is looking at you like that shit's fucking embarrassing.
Right.
I mean,
Like,
yeah,
There's just no
the first time, but what about the second and third? They had to have an agreement on this shit because
It's
you
probably
know,
an agreement now because they just fucking created.
yeah, they had to have an agreement on this shit.
at this point, yeah, like you do what you want, and I'm gonna raise.
But
these
it doesn't
kids.
change the fact that like the world has seen you take
Or
L's.
maybe they just procreate with one another because
She's
they
simping,
just
bro.
know.
Like you watching her, they not even procreating. That's not even their baby.
No,
It's a
it
surrogate.
is
I mean, it's their
baby.
baby, but it's not them. They did not
It's
physically
right,
create
right.
the baby.
You know what I'm saying? You know,
It's
Chloe 6'4", Tristan 7 foot. So maybe they just, you know.
Simping for some Amazons? Nah, bro. Like, that's
I
not how
mean,
you do it.
it depends on how good his genes are. I don't know. So, you know, as athletes have kids, their kids are prone to be just as athletic. And then if you have, you know, as you build genes together, they're both 6'4", you know, so the child has or she's 6'4", he's 7 foot. So the child will probably land somewhere around 6'5", 6'6", right? That's good NBA height. 6'7", that's good NBA height.
Yeah.
It'd be different if he got with like a 5 foot girl and then his son is like, you know, 5'11".
So at what point would you stop signing yourself up for the like Kardashian nightmare? Like, what's in it for him? Like,
Tristan Thompson stays relevant.
Yeah, but he's relevant as like a heel in life. Like you're not viewed as a good person. You're viewed as a
Doesn't
shitty
matter to them.
human.
Remember, some people believe any publicity is good publicity. That's what they believe. They believe that any publicity is good publicity. Even though I know that not all publicity is good publicity, but some people believe as long as my name is being brought up, good or bad, you know, I'm with it.
And then like every woman that you're with is viewed as a home wrecking hoe. Like it's just it's not good publicity for anybody.
it can't be because like they the hoes that broke up the happy home. Like
They just had a baby and now well actually no.
But then now they stay in their field of breaking up happy homes. That's a category to them. So they just find the next married nigga. Okay.
Not a category.
It's a
Well,
category.
anyways, since you're talking about toxic relationships, Neo's wife filed for divorce
Clearly.
this week. He's a toxic nigga. And I used to love Neo. Like, as long as I can remember, I was like, I want him to sing at my wedding. Like, I love Neo. But
I don't see what singing at your wedding has to do with what he did with his wife. He can still sing at the wedding.
Boy. He made his
What does that have to do with singing? R. Kelly is a pedophile and he could still sing at my wedding.
He couldn't. I'll have kids at my wedding, so I don't have time for that.
You gonna have him in his orange jumpsuit? You gonna have him in his?
I mean, that's fine.
He's gonna have the hologram.
You know what I'm saying? You just have him sit there with the mic and then go from there.
Hey, which one the hologram?
But no, yeah, I seen that after he did it before, right? Then he obviously made up for it, and then, you know, pleaded and begged, wrote songs just to do it again. Like, oh, this nigga here.
It was with prostitutes, and then not only that, like the reason why I'm like he's a fuckboy, his ex-fiance had her tubes tied because he didn't want kids. He left her and then had 3 children with his current wife. And
I mean, like, women are allowed to change their mind. I believe he's allowed to change his mind.
He made this woman get her tubes tied, and
that's surgery.
First off, you can't make a woman do shit. You cannot make her get her tubes tied.
But you
No,
can
but you can have that conversation
Yeah, you
as
have the conversation
as
and you
a,
state
as
like,
a
hey, this is what
partner.
I
You can
want.
state, right, like we're getting married. Here's what I want going forward. I don't want kids, and don't like have that agreement so that like steps are being taken as you're being like, getting ready for marriage. He's the celebrity, so he might have pressured her and said, "Well, this is bad for my career, like this, and that."
no, that
But you
Celebrity,
don't
absolutely
know
could have
what
been a
could
part of
have
that
happened
conversation.
behind
celebrity
the scenes.
wives have all the power. Bullshit.
But
Celebrity
she
wives
wasn't
have,
what yet. She
She
was
wasn't a
trying to
wife.
get there.
but nonetheless, what? Because like once they get divorced, is he supposed to no longer have kids because he got divorced with the ex-wife that got her tubes tied? Is he supposed to no longer?
No, that's the
Is he
fiance.
supposed to keep that
She
promise
didn't
up?
even make it to the ring. She
But
made it to the
it's not a
point where,
promise.
yeah,
That's what you stated you wanted. And like all I'm saying is that's low key like a slap in the face. And then you move on to this relationship
I
and you
think it
keep
would be a bigger
it's a little
one.
shady,
with
dog.
I think it would be a
prostitutes.
bigger one if he had like cheated on her and got another girl pregnant after she got
Yeah,
her.
that'd be fucked up too.
That would
But
have
then
been a
you
slap.
move on, have kids, and then you pay for sex. We've been having a lot of conversations about sex workers lately, Rich. And clearly Neo know where to find them.
I have no idea where to find sex workers, but clearly there's just a fancy name for prostitutes and or escorts. So
I mean, they be out there, dog. Like they find a way.
I'm just trying to figure out how they move so like covertly, like they just under the radar.
It's not that covert. If you're ever out, like specifically in DC, I can't speak for any other cities, but like if you have to be at work early, if it's like 5 a.m. is the time you got to go in, you see them.
They coming home.
They're going home, right? They're
Yeah, nah. If
heading
you
back.
ever out there at night in DC and you start having conversations with somebody and it's going too friendly, because you have two types of conversations: somebody asking you for something and somebody's offering you something. And it's like it's that second one where they get real friendly with it and they like, so what you up to tonight? What's going on? How much in
Yeah,
your
he's
wallet?
definitely
And
come
it's
across
like,
some.
nah, dog, I'm
You sound
cool.
like you've had a personal experience with this.
He has.
They used to
Just
offer it to me and I'd be like, nah, I'm broke. Like I'm going home. Like that was my favorite line. I ain't got it. I'm broke. I'm poor.
I say that
Like,
shit all the time. I'm like,
because saying you're in a relationship doesn't work. Like they don't care if you're in a relationship. That ain't got nothing on
absolutely
what they
has
want.
nothing to do with your wallet and what you might
Yeah.
want right now. She ain't here.
If she not right next to you, don't tell me about her or him. Just tell me what I can do for you.
But nah, the moment you say you broke, then they be like, oh, all right. And then they just move
Yeah.
on. Yep. That's how you know women are shallow. I don't want to hear shit about relationships. They only care about how much money you make. Because if you ain't got
They
it,
care
they can be
about
like, oh,
your
all
value.
right.
No, not about how much money, your value. Because you could not make as much money and have as much in the bank. It is your value and what you bring to their life.
I think overall that's not too far from wrong.
What you
But
mean, wrong?
anywho, speaking of fuck boys and city boys, I don't know if you heard about it, but there's a man who flew some girl out.
I
She
seen
got
that.
flued out.
Yep.
Um,
She got
because
flued
she
out.
wouldn't give up any.
He kicked her ass
She
out.
took her back to the airport and canceled her flight and told her to go buy her own flight home.
Yep.
Are women in them required to give it up on these vacations and whatnot that they getting flued out to?
I believe that you should definitely have that conversation before you buy a plane ticket. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Before I buy your plane ticket, we're going to talk about the things we're going to do when you get here.
Mm-hmm.
And if we talk about it before you get here, and I'm like, yeah, we're going to do this, and you be like, yeah, I'm going to give it up when
Verbal
I get
contract. Verbal contract.
here. Yeah,
Right.
verbal contract and verbal understanding. Okay, cool. She fly out. You fly her out. If she like, nah, I'm not in the mood, you drop her ass off at the airport.
Yeah.
And you make her find her way back home. You don't even pay for the ticket. You make her find her own way back home.
Yeah.
So personally, I don't know how many consent briefings you've been through in the military. I'm sure you've been through a ton.
A million.
But I've been through like way too many to ever be like, yeah, this, and that. Like I've even been through the ones where they were like, consent is sexy. So I'd never say you have to, But I mean, I feel like it's an unwritten social contract. Like
Now,
if I'm flying you out and I'm taking you out and I'm taking care of you, we are already in something beyond the I'm talking to you phase. Like you're
nah,
my
not necessarily.
girlfriend. Like something's going. I'm saying for me personally
Mm.
because I couldn't see me flying you out and you were the chick I met online, or you the chick
Right.
that I've been talking to for 2 weeks. So now I'm trying to fly you out to Miami. Nah, like you the girl I've been dating for 6 months, or you the girl that I've been with for a year and a
No,
half.
that's you. But niggas really just be flying niggas
Yeah,
out.
really, they really do. I'm never a person of assumptions, right? I'm gonna make sure that we know what we're doing before I even pay for this ticket. Because I'm a big person on consent. So if you say before you come out here that we gonna sleep with each other, and when you get here, you choose to pull that away, like, nah, I don't want to. Oh yeah, then I'm gonna need you to go ahead, because when we talked about this is what we was gonna do. Now you don't want to do it. I'm gonna need you to go back. You know what I'm saying? You can
Yeah.
find your way back to now. He better than me because I wouldn't have dropped you off. You can find your own way to the airport. You can find you your own hotel. Find your own ticket back. You could because
Anyways, maybe
my
it was
understanding that you only came out here so that I could spend money on you.
right.
Yeah.
Right, because she
And
said she
so I'm gonna
didn't
take what I control, and just like you taking what you control.
yeah. Because she said she didn't have money with her. And I was
That
like,
sucks.
you don't ever do that.
Never
Like,
go anywhere without any money, pimp.
no,
Never.
I honestly don't even like I will not now, but I've never before go on dates without at least having what I ordered covered
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
Like like
Mhm.
I'm not gonna assume that you got it, but
I might do that if I'm asked to come out, right? And then I let the person know, like, hey, I ain't got it like that. Like, I can't go out. And then they're like, nah, I got you. You covered. Then I'll come out. But if we like, yeah, let's just
yeah.
go get some wings. And while we're there, you like, yeah, I got the bill. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna make sure I at least got the money to cover mine just in case you change your mind and be like,
Right.
oh, you know what, pimp? I thought I could cover it. I can't. I'm like, oh shit, don't worry about it. I
Right.
can cover my own food.
Right.
But yeah, never ever go nowhere broke. That's bad business. Because now she got to call her other man to pay for her flight back home. And now he gonna try to figure out what he can get for paying for her flight to come back home.
That's hilarious.
That's what happened when you try to put your vagina on cash, man. When you selling your vagina everywhere.
It ain't good. It ain't that credit that you need everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Because you
Visa
might think that is worth. You might think that is worth a trip, and it ain't. I'm just saying.
I mean, that's true because he could have gotten it and still decided it wasn't worth the stay.
Yeah. Could have been like, you
Still
know
did the
what?
same shit.
Your attitude ain't worth it. This vagina was not worth it.
And then still left you. Now, but then I would feel bad for her because be like she came out and did everything that you asked, and because
Yeah, no,
it was
absolutely.
trash, you gonna just leave her out here stranded, bro? Like that's some whole shit. But if she just didn't give it up at all, yeah, I say send her ass back. She for the streets.
I'm dead.
Like y'all ever see? And I know that they're videos, but I think I seen one that was a genuine reaction of the guys that do like the gold digger prank, where like he'll ask, try to talk to the girl, ask for her money, not for her money, but ask for a number and stuff, and she'll curve him or whatever, and then he'll walk back to his car, and then it's like he might be in like a Lambo or a C8 or a Lamb, you know what I'm saying, and then now she want to run over and talk to him. I'm like, oh, that shit happen in real life, like dead ass. That shit happens in real life. She'll be like, oh, nah, you look like you broke. And he'd be like, all right, thank you, whatever. And then he'll walk off. And then he'll hit the button just so that you can see him get into a Lambo. Like, oh, wait, I was just playing. Nah, bitch, you was serious. You just wanted that money.
Exactly.
You had all the intentions of saying that shit to my face and then walking off.
Let me get in and see. Hell no. Don't touch this. Back your ass up.
Remember how we do?
Well, the last thing I have for the week is so Georgia is the first, probably not the last state, but they are going to start allowing women to claim their unborn fetuses on their taxes for a $3,000, deductible.
on their taxes.
Now,
So now you can start claiming your unborn children.
That's a slippery slope.
question: do they have to pay that back
Nope.
if they miscarry?
Nope.
Uh-uh.
So that's a slippery slope.
Are you allowed? Because some states still allow abortion. They get their tax money and go to Cali.
Well, I think it's for the states that don't. Oh, you're saying you go to.
You get your tax money. You in Georgia, you get your tax money,
and it signed it into where
and then now you go to Cali, where abortion is legal, and then you do. You know, huh?
He said "City Girls Up One."
Yeah.
I'm dead. I mean, yeah, and I'm
Because not
sure.
only is it that, but Medicaid covers it too. So City Girls Up One.
Yeah, she just got an extra. She just finessed the system real quick.
Yeah.
But speaking
now
of
she
children,
got
I
out
seen a it was a quote that was on Facebook that talked about normalizing your children being able to say no if you ask for a hug or a kiss, right?
Mhm.
And one girl was like, well, you know, yeah, we should norm, you know, this is what happens, you know, if my son says no, then you know the answer is just no. And I commented on that. I was like, you know what? I see this being very difficult to break inside of Black families, right? Because the word no a lot of times is almost considered rude, right? You walk into somebody's house, kid said, you know, I say, hey, I speak to my grandmother, say, hey, mom, how you doing? I'll go give her a hug. But say RJ walks in and I'm like, hey, RJ, go speak to, you know, your great grandmother and give her a hug. But if he's like, I don't want to give her a hug, like, is that rude? Do I slap him in the back of the head and say, son, go hug your grandma? Or do I teach him? I mean, hey, son, you know, you don't have to give her a hug. Or do I hold the double standard where I tell my daughter she doesn't have to do it, but I make my son go do it? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a huge issue, I can tell. And even I've done it myself sometimes where like I tell Izzy to give me a kiss before we go to bed. Sometimes she'll willingly do it. Sometimes I gotta, almost tickle her to get it out of her. But then, I'm thinking like, wait, what if she really just doesn't want to?
No, I do the same thing with Snuggles. Like I try to when he says no, like I try to back off, but then I end up, like just stealing the kiss anyway. But I agree. I do think it is important to teach our children like body autonomy and like, not wanting if they don't want to be touched or they don't want to, whatever, that we should respect that.
Because they might get that like weird vibe off of somebody. So you told
But we don't get.
You told them to go say you told Izzy to go give her uncle a hug. She get this weird vibe off her uncle that you don't get. That's your brother. So you like, nah, I don't get it. That's bro. Like me and bro been cooling. But she like, nah, that's that creepy uncle I don't really fuck with. And now you're making her be comfortable with the creepy uncle that she no longer has that comfort with. So she now has to go out of her comfort zone and feel more comfortable. And you, as her father, are teaching her how to feel comfortable with people.
And it's hard because at certain ages, it's like I could sit and have the conversation and be like, hey, why do you feel uncomfortable? Right. But I have to wait for her to be older to be able to tell me why she doesn't. Versus, the age she is now, where she can't fully express why she feels uncomfortable. She's just like, I just don't want to. And I'm like,
you teach your kids to like speak and not be rude, but not having to like run up and
in a lot of Southern culture. Speak. It's like you do more than speak. You speak, they hug, they kiss on the cheek, they do all of that, right? That's Southern culture, hospitality. That's what. So if I just say, yeah, you just walk in and you speak, and it's just like, oh hey, and then they go off in a corner somewhere.
You come off as rude. Absolutely,
it comes off as rude.
We let Snuggles pick like how comfortable he feels, because it's not like we can make him feel comfortable. Like your Uncle Rich now. But when he first met you, it was like, I don't really know you, dude.
But I understand that for somebody that you just met, right? Like obviously.
No, I get it because
But
there's
I'm talking about
times
like
where
family members that you've known, like that they've known since they've been born. And obviously, like at the age of like, I don't know, it's hard because I'm like, okay, 2-year-olds, do they really understand what's going on, or do they just like, I just don't want to do it?
I mean, sometimes they
Versus
understand vibes
a
better than us.
6, 7, 8-year-old that's really like, I don't like, I'm just like not into it. Like it's, I don't know. This one's, it's a hard one for me. It's hard.
it is hard, and I can definitely see how it's heavily rooted in our culture.
Yeah, it's rooted, but like
Yeah, because it's so rooted
how
in our
they
culture.
feel.
But it's
Like,
one of those things that
yeah, you
that's
don't
one of
want
those
to tell
things you
them
want to
how to
break
feel.
for your
Because
children.
like to me, like thing is like handshakes, right? Grown man meets another a grown man. I walk up and I say, "How you doing? My name is Richard." And if he like, "Oh nah, man, I don't shake hands." First off, that's like kind of rude. Like, excuse me, my nigga, like you too good to shake a hand. Like, but if you think about it, past the it's rude type of deal, what if he's sick? What if it's got like it's COVID? He don't know if I'm sick, and you're like, nah, bro, like I don't know you. I don't want to touch your hand.
I mean, and like,
But what if he just don't like touching other grown men's hands?
Right.
But you naturally assume that you're like, damn, bro, like it's just a handshake. Like that's a normal business meeting. Hey, how are you doing? Boom.
Right.
So what about that? Like, is it rude for that? I'm not telling a nigga give me a hug,
So traditionally, it is rude not to shake someone's hand. Like traditionally, you shake a man's hand, you look him in his eyes, and you talk to him.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean,
if we're teaching that my body is mine, I shouldn't have to shake your hand and it not be considered rude.
So you
right?
shouldn't have to, but it depends on the situation that you in. Like certain situations, you don't need to shake someone's hand. Like
it's hard for me to understand a situation where I would want where a handshake would be viable and then I not use it, right? So like if I'm meeting you for the first time, I shake your hand. If I say, all right, man, I'm out, I dap you up. Okay, cool.
But you in a big group of people, would you go around an entire circle of people and dap everybody up?
My honest answer, if we're all hanging out, yes. Because it's obviously rude if I only dap up 2 niggas and then it's 3 others standing there and I just bounce.
All right, cool. So scenario, right? So we at BlurCon, and obviously we told everybody how much fun we had. So now there's a group of about 20 people. You've never really met these people, but you've interacted with them online, right? Now, in your mind, you got about a good 20 people in your mind plotted out. Are you going to go around this entire group high-fiving everybody?
Are we talking about like the entire group from Pokemon is there and I've talked to these people before?
We all just circled up in one big unit.
Because I've talked to these people before. So yeah, I'm like, yo, what up? I'm Rich. All 20.
No, but I don't mean in the first meeting. I mean you're getting ready to step off.
But see, then I wouldn't dap up anybody. I'd be like, hey, everybody, I'm gone.
Right.
I'm like, hey, yo, I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? And then I walk off. Especially if we're doing a group related event. Now, if we're just standing in the fucking food court, ain't nobody really talking to each other. There's 20 of us there, but like we're in like pods of like 3 and then like 2 over there and then like 4 over there. Like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna walk fucking 400 yards to go say bye, but
you come back, it's day 2, same group of 20. Everybody's excited to see you. You dapping up all 20 of us?
I mean, if I see her, I'm like, yo, what up? I'm here.
What if
as a matter of fact, that's exactly what I did. When I seen all of y'all, I was just like, yo, what up? I'm here. I didn't dap anybody up. I just said, hey, yo, what up, everybody? When I dap people up, when we were getting ready to leave, and it was me and like 4 of us next to each other. And then like Kendall and them were already gone. But I dapped them up before I left. When I left the hotel room, I dapped up everybody. I dapped up everybody, and it was like 7, 8 of us in there.
Who got to do you this rude? I hate you. You pulled that comment up just to say that. The worst. Yeah, I do think there are those generational like things that are instilled into us generational curses in certain situations when body autonomy and pedophilia cross lines in certain families. That's when it's like those are those curses that you kind of have to break down. And I do think that's just something that we need to be better at is allowing our child to kind of
Dictate when
dictate
they feel
without
comfortable.
without us telling them they're rude or they're terrible people for that.
Yeah.
But I also think there's certain situations like I feel like grandma, great grandma, like go give them a hug. Like they're you know what I mean? Like
I gotta be
this
great grandpa to get a hug.
generation
I gotta
tell
be
nobody else up. It ain't about to be you.
I gotta be great grandpa to get a hug. If I'm just Uncle Rich, I can't get a hug. I gotta be great grandpa to get a hug.
Hey. I mean,
Because shit, to me
Uncle
at
Rick,
that point,
if
I
you
don't.
go back to Snuggles,
I'm
will you
70.
let
I don't
me?
want to. Oh shit. Snuggles is different
I'm just
because at
saying, we
least
let him choose, and he chose no until he said yes.
But Snuggles had just met me.
It's
It'd
just
be
not
different
Drake. Too.
if we had met if I had like known Snuggles since he was born. It'd
He
be
said he just met
different,
Drake too.
you know. So
He just
like
met Ray that same day, and he gave Ray a big hug.
Ray looks
He
like a
said
big
yes.
ass teddy bear.
Not an untrue statement.
Shout out to Ray. He designed
You
the
Our
know,
artist,
logo.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's definitely, I think, a conversation for another day. We can definitely talk more about stuff like that. But yeah, that's all I really had for the week. There's a couple other like weird stories, like the Airbnb at the slave quarters we had mentioned earlier this week.
oh yeah.
Um,
I mean,
yeah,
yeah, but I don't think that's big news. We like to report big news, big news. You know what
whatever's
I'm saying?
happening that y'all are talking about, we
Like
need to talk
Deshaun
about.
Watson's suspension. So
Yeah,
we'll talk about this and then we can dip. So he was suspended for 6 games. Now, mind you, the judge did her ruling only based off of the four women, not the 24, because
right.
20
Because it's
before she
better.
got the case were settled. So when she got the case,
Mhm.
there's only 4. So she went off of 4 women. Then, not only that, she went off of how the NFL previously handled cases like that.
Mhm.
So she said, as egregious as is it, like she called Deshaun Watson a predator. She said he was lying. He showed no remorse. Like, I mean, straight dogged him. And then
Right.
only gave him 6 games. And then said it's the NFL's fault that she only gave him 6 games. It's the NFL's fault they don't give 6 games because they've never done anything for somebody that's just allegedly. He's not guilty, right? So she's
Right.
not in the party of saying he's innocent or guilty. The law did that, and the law found him, innocent because they never wanted to charge him.
Right.
So they did 6 games. Then the NFL was like, nah, fuck you and your decision. We're gonna appeal that, and we want 12 games. 12 games and $8 million. That's what they want. That would be the largest fine in NFL history. $8 million
Right.
is the largest fine ever. And
Wow.
then the CPA, the NFL CPA went back and was like, now we're going to sue the NFL. So like a part of the NFL is suing the NFL for the appeal. Because what happened is the NFL, they were like, we want a third party. We want a third party judge. And then as soon as she didn't give the answer that they wanted, they said, fuck her answer. We're going to appeal it anyway, just to go get the answer that we want. So I don't know. It's weird. I'm stuck because Deshaun Watson is one of my favorite quarterbacks. I do believe in conspiracy. So people are like, oh, you really think 24 women conspired against him? Yes, I do. The checks are big enough to
I mean,
yes, the
part
checks
of
are
me
big enough.
does feel like they did conspire against him, and the other part of me feels like, why do they care so hard when it's a black quarterback versus when it's a white quarterback?
Mm,
Because when the stories came out about Ben, every story came out about Ben, but you never hear it. When Peyton Manning did what Peyton Manning did, no one talks about it. What did Peyton Manning do, you might say? Well, Peyton Manning, his last Super Bowl winning season, he was found for taking steroids. You know what he did instead of coming out about the story? He sued the NFL. He came back with a lawyer, tried to sue them over the season, then retired so that the story never hit the air.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess we could argue that steroids is completely different than
That's
sexual
sexual
assault.
assault.
But it's just
Yeah,
it's the idea that like
I
yeah,
probably should have just laughed at that, but
yeah.
when their
I think we
stories
can argue that like no one's gonna give a shit over steroids versus sexual assault.
no, but they care so much about Tom Brady and these deflated balls, right? But no one cares when it's like a black man until it's
Yeah.
like, oh well, you know,
So like
he has
Ezekiel Elliott's case for his sexual misconduct case, they gave him 12. They gave him 6 games.
mhm.
But mind
But
you,
he
Deshaun
didn't
Watson
score.
is already literally sat out a full year. So he's already sat out 17 games. And then he's going to have an additional 6 games on top of that. Now, the only issue was that she only did 6 games and she did no fine. So the man just sits out 6 games, no fines. He's only making like $700,000 this year anyway. So he loses like $300,000. And to Deshaun Watson after signing a $260 million contract where all of it's guaranteed, $300,000 is like fucking chump change to him.
Right.
So I can see it. I don't know. I don't have all the details to what happened, but I believe in conspiracies. I do. The Texans have the money. It's $1 billion corporation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Say, look, I'll give you 15,000 if you say that he touched you too. They'd be like, okay. I don't have to say my name. Okay, cool. I don't have to say who I am. I can just take 15. Yep, he did it.
Yeah.
You know. But all right. But that's it, y'all. That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah. Yeah, so next week we'll be talking more about racism and slavery. We are going to have Harriet Tubman's third cousin on Wednesday.
He better have his ancestry.com results with him.
I want to see the headband and the gun that she used to carry.
So this isn't the episode I'll tell him to watch.
I'm kidding.
Anyway,
He's from Maryland. I just want to see the Obey in the background.
until next week.
She's from Maryland.
Until next week.
I didn't know Harriet Tubman had kids and stuff.
You don't need to have kids to have cousins, but that's neither here nor there. Until next week.
I mean, somebody should be able to verify this shit.
Just stay unapologetically black. Have a good night.